and welcome. Um, we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping before we get started with our chair yoga class today. And it will be chair yoga. So if you were expecting the functional fitness class that Adra usually does, my apologies. I want to stay within sort of what I am trained and have experience facilitating. So we're going to be doing our chair yoga class today. Of course, if you're familiar with Adra's functional fitness, you're welcome to add those stretches and exercises into your own movements, of course. All right, so if you're new to this class, welcome. If you're returning, also welcome. If you're new, we would love it if you would type your name and maybe what state you're joining from, and maybe a fun fact about yourself in the little chat box. You're also welcome to do that if you're returning. It's a really wonderful way for us to sort of connect, even though we are sharing this practice virtually. Instead of typing mine in, I'll just share it, giving you guys a moment to type your responses in. My name's Caro, and I am joining from the Lone Star State. I'm joining in from Texas. And a fun fact about me, I have two little boys, 3 years and 5 years old, and they're super cute. And they do yoga with me sometimes. This session is going to be recorded. It's just recording me so that later on you guys can go watch this class on YouTube in about 4 weeks once V loads it up online. While I'm facilitating the class, I do ask that y'all stay muted just so that everyone's really able to hear everything I'm saying very clearly. The more microphones that are on, the more the sound sort of starts getting a little fuzzy and it's harder to hear. At the end of class, I will love it if you want to unmute and share how you're feeling or what you thought of the class. Excuse me. But during the class, I do ask that y'all stay muted. Let's go to the next slide here. I can get it to go to the next slide. There it is. Okay, so this is part of the Grow with GoGo program, and this is our chair yoga class. You can always go to our website, GoGoGrandparent.com, for more information about different services and things like that. Some of the available services include, but I don't think are limited to, rides, meals, grocery delivery, medication delivery, as well as kind of home services and handyman services. And the phone number to call is right there. It's that 855 number, which you can also find on the website, GoGoGrandparent.com. Let's see. We want to grow our community. And so if you refer a friend, you do get your $30 in credit, and they also get $30 in credit. And so you can find that code. So it's going to be at the bottom of any of your GoGo receipts. Also on your online GoGoGrandparent.com dashboard, you can find your referral code, or you can also just call that 855 number, and that'll one of the operators can get you your referral code. Let's see. Oh yeah, the Facebook group. So I know we talk about this a lot, but it really is just another way to connect and grow your community. You know, we are tuning in from all over the country. In fact, let's take a look at our chat and see. Okay, we've got another Texan, Elizabeth, coming in from Houston, Hildy coming in from Baltimore, Maryland. Awesome. So yeah, so we are tuning in from all over the country, but you may be able to find other community members in your city or your state through the Facebook group. It's a sort of way to use the virtual connection to find an in real life connection as well. Let's see. All right, so this is me. My name is Caro. I'll be leading our practice today. The basic structure is we have this sort of housekeeping time at the beginning, and then I'll lead about a 45 minute chair yoga practice. And then at the end, I'll leave 10 minutes in case anybody wants to ask questions or give feedback, or offer suggestions on how we can improve. We sort of thrive on constructive criticism. So we love hearing how we can do a better job. Let's see. All right. I do want to make sure everyone stays safe today during our practice. So I'm going to be using sort of my standard office chair. There's no wheels, so I'm not going to be rolling around. And I suggest you do the same. So wheels on chairs are just going to make balance a little tricky. And we do want to make sure we all feel supported and stable throughout our practice today. So I recommend a chair or a couch or a sofa that's not on wheels. All right, let's move. See if I can stop sharing. Awesome. Okay, I also just, last thing I wanted to say is if you do ever type anything in the chat during our practice, V, who is our wonderful admin who's here today as well, I just asked that maybe V, if you want to take a look in the chat box during the class, I won't really be able to read the chat box during the class while I'm facilitating. All right, so we'll just confirm that everybody can hear me. I can see Brian and Louise and Doug. Can y'all give me a thumbs up if you can hear me right now? And then as I move back towards my chair, can you continue to hear me okay? Great. Okay, good. Well, let's get started. All right. So as we move through our practice today, you get to choose how you move. You also get to choose if you move. You are in complete control of your experience today. So if I offer a movement or a stretch that feels weird or your body's just not enjoying it very much, you can always stop your movement or maybe find a different way of moving that feels better for your body today. You know, I'm really just here to give you some suggestions, some ideas of how you could explore moving. And then you get to make the decision whether you move or not and sort of what range of motion feels comfortable and safe for you today. All of that said, if you want to, one way you could begin your practice today would be to sit back into the support of your chair. So you may feel the support of your chair on your back as you sort of release back into it. Maybe your legs get a little bit more comfortable. It's possible that you rest your hands on your legs, and you may notice that your shoulders get a little heavy. So they may sort of melt down, kind of away from your ears. You may find your belly getting bigger. Sometimes I call this my Buddha belly. We're not sucking in our gut right now. We're just letting everything soften. Inviting your body to breathe in a way that feels gentle and kind and natural for you. Perhaps starting to notice what it feels like to breathe. And sometimes just by noticing our breath, you may find that your breath starts to deepen in some way. Maybe your breath starts to feel a little bit more complete or full. You're welcome to try inhaling through your nose as you feel your belly getting a little bit bigger. And maybe we exhale out through our mouth if you'd like. And you may feel a kind of softening downward, sort of emptying our bodies of any stale air. So that on your next inhale, you can welcome in a full breath of air. And then exhaling out at your own pace. If you want to, you could take 3 or 4 more of these full, deep cycles of breath. There's really no wrong way to breathe. So whatever full, deep, kind of luxurious cycles of breath feel good for you today. Now you may find that you want to stay right where you are, connecting to the sensations of breathing. Now you could stay here for the next hour of your day. And that would be a complete yoga practice, yoking together your awareness and your breath, connecting your mind and your body in the present moment by noticing what it feels like to breathe. So focusing on our breath for a whole hour is pretty challenging. So if you're feeling that you'd like something a little different, you could start to find some movement in your fingers and your toes. So again, no wrong way to move here. Any kind of movement in your fingers and toes, your wrists and ankles that feels interesting to you. If your eyes are closed, you could blink them open. Maybe we begin to take a little bit of a stretch. So you could extend your legs, lifting your feet, and you may find that your arms want to stretch overhead, almost like we just woke up in the morning and we're taking a great big stretch, breathing in. On your exhale, you could bring your arms down, planting your feet, and you may find that it feels instinctive to sit a little bit taller, maybe even scooting forward to create some space between your body and the back of your chair. And this may allow you to firmly plant your feet beneath your knees, spreading through your toes if that feels comfortable. Maybe you lean a little bit from side to side. As we go through our practice, you may notice that I'm not wearing shoes. That's just because I feel comfortable in my bare feet on this floor. It's not very slippery in here. You're welcome to have your shoes on. I don't recommend practicing just in socks because socks are a little bit slippery. So I recommend maybe bare feet or shoes on. So as you're leaning side to side, you may start to feel a bit of a stretching sensation into the side of your body. You're welcome to sort of stay with that sensation, or you could begin to change the sensation by circling your torso, kind of warming up your lower back a little bit, checking in with your hip joints. If you want to, you could connect this movement to your breath. And one way to do that is to inhale for a full torso circle. And then you maybe exhale for a full circle as well. You could try that in both directions. You may find that your inhales are actually longer than a full torso circle, extending for even longer. Maybe your exhales go for 2 full circles. Again, no wrong way to breathe, just connecting your movement to your breath in a way that feels natural or useful to you today. Now, at any point, if you're feeling ready for something different, you could begin to lean forward. And maybe your hands are on your knees, maybe your elbows are on your knees. Either way, if you'd like, we could lean side to side. So we're kind of in a forward fold, supporting ourselves with our elbows or our hands on our knees, and maybe we lean from side to side. All sorts of stretching sensations you may begin to notice in your lower back, sort of into the side of your back. If you'd like a little bit of a different sensation, maybe up into your upper back, you could explore lowering your left shoulder forwards and down. And as you do that, you may find it feels nice to look to the right, kind of completing that twist. Oh, yeah. And then you could try that on the other side, bringing your right shoulder forwards and down, looking to the left behind you, and then kind of moving from side to side. We're taking a little bit of a twist here into our upper back, dropping one shoulder forwards and down, and then the other. Kind of looking behind ourselves in one direction and then the other. Taking your time to maybe come through what feels like center for you. And if you'd like to, you could push into your knees to lift through your heart, coming slowly back up to neutral, maybe reaching up to breathe in. On your exhale, we could bend one elbow, reaching up with one arm. And then as you inhale, you could swap that out, reaching up with the other arm, so that we're sort of reaching up with one arm and then the other. If your hands want some movement here, you're welcome to sort of grab the sky and pull it down towards you. I don't know why, but I always have the image of sort of gathering in a big fishing net as if I was fishing up in the clouds. So if imagery is helpful for you in your movement, you could imagine that. Drawing something down towards your body from above you. You're kind of noticing a bit of a stretch into the side of our body here. We're kind of waking up the muscles of our arms, our fingers, noticing how you're breathing. And there's no rush. Whenever you feel ready, you could reach both arms all the way up, breathing in. And as we exhale, you could slowly bring your arms forward in front of your body. As we inhale, maybe pulling the air in towards your heart. And as you exhale, pushing forward, straightening your arms, maybe even leaning forward slightly. Inhaling, pulling in, exhaling, pushing forward. Now I'm just going to turn to the side so you can kind of get a sense of this movement. As we pull in, you may find that you're leaning slightly back. And as you exhale, you may find that you're leaning forward, sort of reaching for the wall across. Inhaling, pulling, scooping in, and exhaling, pulling, pushing forward. So we're not only listening into our lower back here, we're also maybe noticing some strengthening muscle sensations in our shoulders, our arms. On your next inhale, pulling in. And as you exhale, you could release your arms all the way down alongside you. Maybe a little shake out in our hands here. It may also feel useful to rest your hands on your knees and take some circular movement in our shoulders. So sort of thanking the muscles of our shoulders for that movement, checking in, seeing how they're feeling. Now, if you're noticing that you're wanting more check-in with your shoulders here, one way to do that is to bring both of our shoulders sort of down and back, and then perhaps float our fingertips up to our shoulders. As you inhale, maybe there's a lift in your elbows, and that may feel like an interesting stretch across the front of your chest, maybe into your upper back. You could stay here or begin to circle your elbows any amount. And what we may start to notice is a kind of warming up feeling into the muscles of our upper back, listening into our shoulder joints to find our range of motion here. You could try circling in both directions. Whenever you feel ready, you have the option of bringing both of your elbows forward. Maybe you bow your head, breathing out. As you inhale, opening your elbows, unfurling your arms, we're going to spread through our fingers. Maybe you open your face. And as you exhale, we could release our arms down, shaking out again. This time, maybe as we inhale, we reach all the way up. And as we exhale, perhaps circling your wrists. So we're listening into our wrist joints, continuing to breathe as you bring your arms all the way down, getting out any of our snap, crackle, pops that might be hiding in our wrist joints today. As we inhale, perhaps you reach right back up. And this time, as you exhale, you could flick through the air. So kind of going from a fist to spreading our fingers all the way down, really sending circulation and sensation down to our fingers with this movement. As we inhale, you could choose to reach right back up. And as we exhale, maybe wiggling your fingers. So we're looking for, again, our full range of motion, whatever feels useful in your fingers and your thumbs today. This movement is sort of strengthening, right? Not just our fingers, but our forearms. You may notice some muscle dynamics there in your forearms, your wrists, all the way down. This time, as we inhale, reaching softly overhead. And as you exhale, bringing your palms together towards your heart. Maybe you interlace your fingers, possibly some gentle circular movement in our wrists. Thanking our fingers, our wrists for all the movement they just found. Possibly taking a deep breath in and breathing out. And you're welcome to continue this movement in your wrists if this is feeling useful right now. If you'd like a different sensation, you could keep your fingers interlaced and start to draw your elbows away from each other. So our interlaced palms are sort of facing the ground. Now, possibly staying here or beginning to lift one wrist and then the other. So what we're looking for is maybe a sensation of stretching down at the base of one palm and at the base of the other hand. So it's sort of shifting sensation from a stretch in our wrist to a stretch in the back of our hand, palm. At any point here, if you'd like, you could turn your interlaced palms towards yourself, creating kind of a circular space in front of your body. Now, if your elbows start to droop down, you could explore lifting your elbows slightly, strengthening through our shoulders. If you're rounding in your spine here, I'd love to invite you to explore sitting as tall as feels comfortable. So exploring a sense of lifting, lengthening up, and maybe heel toeing our feet to a slightly wider stance, possibly beginning to circle your hands through the air. And as you begin to circle your hands, you may find your torso wants to participate in that movement. So we're finding that same torso circle we explored before, this time with some movement in our arms. You may notice some strengthening or muscle dynamics in your abdominals, your core, maybe down into your hips or the backs of your legs. I like to imagine that we're stirring a great big pot of something delicious. Pretty hot here, so maybe it's lemonade. Or if it's cold where you are, you know, could be hot chocolate. Let's try both directions. Really noticing what you notice here. Which parts of your body are experiencing sensation right now? As you feel ready, you could come towards what feels like neutral. Maybe you turn your interlaced palms away from you, extending your arms perhaps forward, slowly lifting your arms overhead any amount. And as we exhale, you could float your arms all the way back down. Maybe a little shake out in our hands. It may feel useful here to rest your hands on your knees and give a roll out in your shoulders. Sometimes after that much muscle sensation in our shoulders, you may also find it useful to sort of bring your left hand up to your right shoulder, your upper arm, and give a little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of a self massage here, thanking the muscles of your arm. Maybe you try that on the other side as well, bringing your right hand to your left shoulder, your left upper arm. As you feel ready, possibly bringing your hands to your knees. And we're going to keep this wide stance, possibly having your toes pointing forward so we have a good amount of support. And then finding those torso circles, this time with the support of our hands on our knees, which may allow you to find sort of a larger range of motion. If you're furrowing your brow, this could be a moment to soften between your eyebrows. If you're clenching your teeth, this could be an opportunity to soften the inside of your mouth, softening your jaw. Now, if you choose to, you could start to lean forward into our forward fold. So again, you have the option of having your hands on your knees or your elbows on your knees. And just like earlier, we're going to take a little bit of that leaning side to side. Now, this time, instead of finding our spinal twist, you may find it useful as you lean over to the right to bring both hands to your right knee. That may bring a significant stretch here over into the left side of our body, into our lower back. Let's breathe in. As you exhale, if you want to, you could round forward, sort of bowing your head towards your right knee. And then as we inhale, you could push into your knee with your hands, slowly coming back up through center, so that as you exhale, we could bow towards our left knee, bringing our hands to our knee, maybe bowing your head down towards your left knee. As you breathe in, pushing into your knee, making your way all the way back up. Now, if this is feeling interesting to you, you're welcome to continue gently moving side to side. Again, each of us staying within a range of motion that feels interesting. We're not pushing into anything that feels pinchy or painful, just looking for an interesting stretch into our lower back, the side of our body. Whenever you feel ready, Maybe you inhale your way up through center. And as we exhale, we'll come forward, bringing both of our elbows to our knees. Now from here, there's a few options. You're welcome to stay right where you are. Or if you're noticing that you want to continue forward, you have the option of bringing your hands to your shins or to your ankles or your feet or to the ground between your feet. And wherever you are in this moment, if you'd like, you could bow your head forward. And what you may notice is a sort of softening into the back of your neck as you invite your head to get heavy. Maybe you very gently shake your head no or nod your head yes here, letting your head get heavy. Sometimes I like to sway a little bit side to side here. If that feels instinctive to you, you're welcome to add that in. Let's breathe in, breathe out. As slowly as you can, we'll start to bring our hands to our knees and begin to look forward. Softly breathing in as you start to rise back up towards neutral, giving your head time to make its way back above your heart. Maybe you reach up to breathe in. Exhaling your hands together to your heart. Inhaling, diving upward, and exhaling your arms slightly back and down. Let's go ahead and heel toe our feet back towards neutral. And if you'd like to, you could lift one heel and then the other. So we're sort of looking for some sensation down into our ankle joint. Maybe we lift both heels and tap our heels side to side. Kind of like our feet are skiing. You may notice some stretching here into your calves, sort of down near our Achilles tendon, ankles. Maybe you start to bring your heels towards what feels like center, possibly lifting one foot and then the other. So the idea here, sometimes scooting forward can be useful here. The idea is to notice what it feels like to lift one foot and then the other. So it's all sorts of muscles in our legs and our abdomen that are sort of working together to help lift and lower our feet. Your hands could help out. The strength of your arms could be useful here. And you may find you want to continue from side to side for a while. You're welcome to do that. If it sounds inviting, another option that's available to you would be to explore planting your feet, placing your hands on your knees. And we'll sort of lift our right foot as if we're lifting it out of a boot, extending your leg forward and planting your foot forward. Then we'll lift it right back up as we breathe in, exhaling to slide it right back down that invisible boot. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can kind of get a sense here. We'll try that on the left. So maybe lifting your left foot, sliding it out of that boot, exhaling to land your foot forward. Then as you inhale, we'll lift right back up, exhaling to slide your foot back down the boot. So as you continue from side to side, you may notice a lot of different muscle dynamics working together here. Your hands can continue to support you in this movement. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower. Each of us exploring what it feels like to move with control, so that as we inhale, we lift, and as we exhale, we're lowering with control. Inhaling, lifting, exhaling, lowering back down. Now, this might feel useful not only up in our hip joints for some mobility, but also into our knee joints, maybe into the backs of your legs for a stretch. You could continue this movement, strengthening and stretching for as long as you'd like. And it's totally up to you. If you'd like to, the next time your left leg is extended forward, we could pause here. Now, I find it helpful to have a flex in my left foot. You could also lower your toes to the ground, whatever feels more comfortable. Possibly inhaling to sit just a little bit taller. And as you exhale, maybe leaning forward. So we're looking for a stretch into the back of our left leg. This could be a spot to stay. You're welcome to stay here for as long as you'd like. Or if you'd like more movement, on your inhale, you could look forward and rise slightly. So that as you exhale, you could come forward, maybe bowing your head towards your legs. Inhaling, looking forward and lifting, and then exhaling, maybe coming forward. So this movement may change the stretching sensations. You may feel more sensation in the back of your left leg or down into our lower back, sort of encouraging mobility, stretching out. And the more we can sort of lengthen and stretch the backs of our legs, these big hamstring muscles, the more our lower back will thank us. Whenever you feel ready, you could use an inhale to come all the way up, reaching up to breathe in, and exhaling your hands together to your heart. As we inhale, perhaps diving upward into the sky and exhaling your arms slightly back and down. And maybe a little shake out in our hands. We'll go ahead and plant both feet. It might feel nice here just to bounce out your heels a little bit, give a little movement to our legs, possibly some windshield wiper movement if that feels inviting. Now, after stretching out our left leg like that, you may find your knee is asking you for some softening movement. One way to take that is to sort of lift our left foot off of the ground and then take some forwards and back movement in our foot. So we're just kind of softening into our knee joint. You could continue forwards and back. You could also sort of circle your foot if that feels available. And then before we take that sequence on the other side, if you want to, you could use your hands to guide your left foot sort of out to the side and plant your left foot to the side, and then take some side to side movement in your knee. So it's kind of a one leg windshield wiper movement. You may notice that you're rolling from the inner edge of your left foot to the outer edge of your left foot. Really listening into our hip joint here. Starting to heel toe your left foot back towards neutral when you're ready. Possibly lifting one heel and then the other. So we're sort of getting ready to take that sequence on the other side. Depending on how your ankles are feeling today, you may find it useful to lift both heels and give a couple circles in each direction. As you begin to plant your heels, you have that option of lifting your right foot off of the ground, extending your leg forward and landing your heel. Now, again, I'm choosing to keep my foot flexed because that feels more interesting to me, but you may find that you prefer to keep your toes lowered. It'll just be a little bit of a different sensation and you can sort of choose what feels better for you today. Either way, as we inhale, maybe you lift and lengthen through your spine. As you exhale, perhaps leaning forward any amount until you start to feel a stretch into the back of your right leg, maybe into your lower back. Kind of noticing if this side feels any different than the other side, or maybe it feels exactly the same. And whenever we hold a stretch, so whenever we sort of stay in a stretch for a while, sometimes that's called a static stretch. That may feel like what you need today. If you're feeling that you prefer movement, as you breathe in, you could explore looking forward and lifting slightly upward. Then as you exhale, you could come back down, perhaps bowing your head. So that with each breath in, maybe there's a kind of lifting up and lengthening. And with each exhale, maybe you're coming forward, maybe you're bowing your head. And you can decide if you want to keep taking this movement or stay forwards in your stretch, remembering that at any point you can choose to opt out of these movements. You can choose to find a totally different way of moving. You're always welcome to follow your own instinct with your body, your own curiosity with sort of following an interesting sensation. At some point, if you'd like, you could use an inhale to lift and rise all the way up, maybe reaching overhead to breathe in. As you exhale, you could bring your palms together to your heart. And as we inhale, maybe diving upward into the sky, exhaling your arms slowly back and down. Shaking out a bit if you want. And we'll go ahead and plant our left foot, maybe we bounce our right foot, excuse me, bouncing out our heels, maybe taking a little movement side to side in our knees. And then just if this sounds useful to you, your right knee may be asking you for some of that softening sensation. So one way to find that is to sort of lift our right foot off of the ground and then take some forwards and back movements, maybe a circle or two. And then we'll start to plant our feet, maybe bringing your right foot sort of out to the side a little bit. And what that may allow you to do is take that gentle sort of one-legged windshield wiper. So your right knee sort of coming in and then opening out, possibly rolling from the outer edge of your foot to the inner edge of your foot, listening into your right hip joint here, until you feel ready to heel toe your feet back towards what feels like a neutral place for you, possibly beginning to lean forward. Now, as you lean forward, you have the option of sliding your hands towards your hips. So your elbows may sort of move back. There may be a lift in your heart, finding that great big Buddha belly, breathing in. On our exhale, you could start to slide your hands towards your knees so that we can round our shoulders, tucking our tailbone, rocking towards the back of our chair, maybe bowing your head. Inhaling that lift in your heart, drawing your hands towards your hips, elbows maybe moving back, leaning forward to that big belly, and then exhaling, rounding, rocking back. I'm just going to turn to the side here, just in case it's useful to get a sense of our spinal wave, so that with each exhale, we're really rounding, rocking back, and with each inhale, maybe coming forward. Now, if you choose to, you could take this 3 or 4 more times, becoming aware of how your spine is feeling today, how you're feeling today, how you're breathing. And we'll slowly start to make our way back towards what feels like a neutral spine for you. Once you're there, if you'd like, you could explore sliding just your left hand towards your left hip. So as you do that, it's possible that you notice a sort of turning in your torso to the left. Let's breathe in. On your exhale, maybe we slide to the other side. You could bring your right hand towards your right hip, sort of turning and looking to the right. And then each of us turning from side to side at our own pace, listening into our kind of our mid back between our shoulder blades. Anytime we're taking a twist, we do want to make sure we're not cranking into something that feels painful or pinchy. So really just twisting as far as feels interesting for your body as you move from side to side. Beginning to make your way back towards what feels like neutral or center for you, so that we can come back to the same movement we began with, leaning side to side. Now you may notice that there's a sort of shifting or leaning, keeping our spine sort of in line as it leans side to side. And this may be a movement you want to stay with. Or for something a little bit different, you could begin to come towards what feels like center and float your arms wide and to the side. Maybe your palms are facing the ground. And then beginning to kind of reach from side to side. So we're taking a little bit of a different sensation. You may notice more of a stretch sort of in the side of your rib cage, some strengthening in your core, some strengthening in your shoulders. Imagining kind of reaching to touch something to the side of you and then to the other side of you. You could add a little movement in your fingers here. And then we'll begin to come back towards what feels like center for you, maybe inhaling to reach up. And as you exhale, we'll just lower our right arm all the way down. Maybe you rest your right hand on your leg. Your left arm could be reaching up to the sky. Let's breathe in. On your exhale, we'll start to bend our left elbow. So maybe your left forearm rests on your head. That might feel like a nice stretch here to the back of your left arm. Or if it's available today, your left hand could maybe make its way to your upper back, the back of your neck. Wherever you are in this moment, let's breathe in and breathe out. If it's interesting to you, you could begin to bring your right hand to your left elbow and explore gently drawing your elbow over to the right. So your body may start to gently lean to the right as well, kind of deepening that stretch into the side of our arm. And then we'll inhale slowly up through center, reaching both arms up and exhaling our arms all the way down. Inhaling, reaching right back up. This time as you exhale, you could float just your left arm down, maybe resting it on your leg. Breathing in here. And as you exhale, you could place your forearm on your head or slide your palm to the back of your neck or your upper back. Either way, you may start to feel that stretch here in the back of your right arm. Let's breathe in and breathe out. If it sounds interesting to you today, you could float your left hand to find your right elbow, breathing in. And as you exhale, like kind of guiding your elbow, drawing it down and to the left. And your torso may sort of melt that way as well. Let's breathe in. Then breathe out. On your inhale, slowly coming back up through neutral, reaching both arms up, and we'll exhale them all the way down. A little shakeout may feel useful here. Depending on whether you have arms on the chair you're sitting on, you may be able to swing your arms forwards and back, just making sure we're not bonking into any furniture or, the arms of our chair or walls behind us. So this may feel sort of softening or heavy into our shoulders. We'll follow our own momentum to perhaps sweep your arms all the way up. And as we exhale, you could pull down through the air in front of you. One option here would be to begin heel-toeing our feet to our widest stance. Now I'm just going to scoot back so you can sort of see what my feet are doing here. We're coming into what's sometimes called warrior two. One way to get there is to extend just your left leg to the left. Now, you could either keep your toes lowered or flex your foot. And it depends what feels more steady and stable for you. Our right knee above our right heel, so we have some support on that side. Then when you're ready, we'll inhale, maybe reaching up. On your exhale, you could bring your arms wide, parallel to the ground, feeling strength coursing through your arms all the way to your fingertips. Possibly looking past your right shoulder, past your right fingertips, and then pushing into the ground with your feet. So our legs and the muscles of our legs begin to activate slightly, finding the strength in our legs. Let's breathe in and breathe out. If you'd like, you could turn your right palm to face the sky and then inhale to lift your right arm as your left hand comes down to support you on your left leg. Now, sometimes this is called reverse warrior. You could be looking up and into the palm of your right hand if you'd like. Let's breathe in. As you exhale, you may find that you melt a little further over to the left. Breathing in. On your exhale, we're going to swap out our arms. So maybe your right forearm supports you on your right knee, and your left arm could reach up to the sky. You could look up towards your left hand if you'd like, or if that doesn't feel comfortable, you could also look down towards your right toes. Wherever we are, let's breathe in and breathe out. On your next inhale, slowly making your way up, reaching overhead to breathe in, and exhaling your arms wide, parallel to the ground as you look past your right shoulder. One more breath in here. And as you exhale, you could float your arms down so that we can begin to plant both feet, turning our toes forward in this wide stance and coming right back to our torso circles, checking in with our lower back, noticing how we're breathing, how we're feeling. As you're circling, you may find that you want to connect your breath to your movement in some way. Always welcome to breathe in for a full circle, then breathe out for a full circle. As you begin to make your way very gently into our wide forward fold. So we're going to lean forward. You could keep your hands on your knees. You could bring your elbows to your knees. You're also welcome to bring your hands down to your ankles or your feet, or your fingertips could come to the ground between your feet. Each of us finding our own forward fold. Sometimes a forward fold is called an inversion, sort of giving our head a moment to be below our heart. Let's breathe in and breathe out. You could stay here for a few more cycles of breath. I just invite you to move very slowly whenever we're coming out of an inversion. So really taking your time whenever you're ready, bringing your hands to your knees, starting by looking forward and then inhaling as you start to rise back towards neutral. Possibly choosing to reach up and breathe in. Maybe you exhale your hands together to your heart. Inhaling, diving upward, and exhaling your arms slowly back and down, really opening across your chest. If you'd like to, we could take that sequence on the other side. So one option here would be to extend your left leg. Probably going to lower my toes. You're also welcome to flex your foot here if that feels more inviting. Imagining, creating a solid foundation with our legs. So finding a place where your feet could push into the ground, sort of activating our legs. Maybe you inhale to reach up. And as you exhale, you could bring your arms wide, parallel to the ground, perhaps looking past your left shoulder, past your left fingertip. Let's breathe in and breathe out. If you want to, you could turn your left palm to face the sky, starting to lift your left arm as you bring your right hand down to support you on your leg. Sometimes this is called a reverse warrior. Let's breathe in. As you exhale, you may find that you melt a little further back into the right. Breathing in. As we exhale, we're going to swap out our arms. So maybe your left forearm rests on your left leg. Your right arm could be reaching up to the sky. Kind of depends how your neck is feeling today. You could look forwards. You could look up at your right hand overhead or down at your left toes. Wherever we are, let's breathe in and breathe out. On your next inhale, slowly coming up to reach overhead and breathe in. Exhaling your arms wide, strong, parallel to the ground as you look past your left shoulder. Breathing in and exhaling to float your arms down. As you begin to plant your feet, you could bounce out your heels a little bit here and maybe heel toe your feet back towards a more neutral stance. Possibly coming back to our spinal twist for a moment. So inhaling your right hand to your right hip, looking to the right. And as you exhale, you could take that on the left. Inhaling to one side and exhaling to the other. And the next time you are opening to the left, if you'd like to, you could pause here, bringing your right hand over to your left knee. You're welcome to take a few cycles of breath here. You could be looking back towards the wall behind you or looking forward with your head. It's really whatever feels like a more interesting stretch for your neck today. Let's inhale our way through center. And as you exhale, you could find your twist on the other side. So maybe your left hand comes to your right knee. As much as feels comfortable, exploring sitting a little taller, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing here in your twist for just a moment. And then as we inhale, you could choose to unwind back through your center, maybe shaking out a little bit in your hands or circling your wrists. And we'll start to sit back into the support of our chair. Now, as you do that, you may notice your legs asking you for a little moment of extension. So after all that movement and strengthening, you could extend your legs forward and take a few little circles in your ankles, breathing in. Exhaling to soften your feet down. I'd love to invite you to get as comfortable as you can possibly be. So adjusting, getting comfy, maybe letting that Buddha belly make an appearance again. You could close your eyes if you want. We're going to transition down into a moment of rest. And there's no wrong way to rest. So whatever feels comfortable for you, a place where you feel restful, where you feel yourself breathing in a way that's gentle and natural for you. And we'll be here for about a minute. And all you need to do is rest and breathe. And I'll bring us back with the sound of my voice. Slowly beginning to deepen your breathing in some way. Honoring your body and your experience by maybe finding whatever little movement your body is asking you for. Maybe in your fingers or your toes, blinking your eyes open if you'd like. You're always welcome to yawn or heave a sigh or stretch in some way that feels natural for you. It's possible that you find a little bit of lengthening in your spine. Maybe you place one hand over the other, over your heart. Taking a moment to just notice any changes in how you feel since the beginning of our practice together. If your eyes are closed, you could blink them open, maybe reaching up to breathe in. Exhaling your hands together towards your heart. Peace and light and love from my heart to yours. Thank you all so much for sharing this time with me, this practice, this beautiful community. I'll be coming forward and I'd love to hear from you. You can unmute and share. You can also write your comments in the chat box if you prefer. Thank you all for being here. Let's see. Oh, looks like we have quite a few chats. Linda
Thank
says,
you.
"Oh, you're welcome." Thank you. Was that Jan? Thanks, Jan.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, we've got a great question. Margaret says, when we do torso circles, should both sits bones stay on the chair? Great question, Margaret. So whenever we're circling, there's kind of two different stretches, right? There's two different options. So if you are lifting one sits bone, basically one butt off of your chair, that's going to shift a lot of weight right into the other side. You may start to notice some sort of strengthening or sort of compensation muscles happening on that side. So if you're looking to strengthen sort of the side of your hip, that might feel interesting. I always find keeping both sits bones firmly planted brings more of the stretch into the side body, which is, you know, often what I'm trying to strengthen and stretch to kind of create more space for a deeper breath. Um, so really, there's no wrong way of doing it. It's just going to stretch a different part of your body, right? It'll be more of a muscle workout instead of a stretch.
Sorry, I'm
Does that make sense?
inconvenient. My picture doesn't work. I can't get
That's
the
okay.
little thingy to move. So I sorry to be in black when I'm asking you questions.
That's okay. Anybody else have any thoughts? Oh, I got it. We're getting a wave from Shirley. Hi, Shirley.
Hi, Caro. This is Ken
Hi. Hey, Ken.
in San Jose, California.
All right. I know San Jose.
I,
Well, I'm glad you were here. I like your Northern Lights.
boy, I'm have severe eyesight loss and hearing impaired, and what else? Oh, clogged arteries too. And I'm old.
I
I
hear
was
ya.
born in 1939. Can you believe that?
Oh, I can't. That's amazing. I'm so glad you're here today.
Yeah, me too.
I'm older than you by
uh,
years.
in,
Bertha's got you beat.
Not
I,
really. I don't feel like a beater. I feel more like a lump. But when I engage in the class, I feel much better.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that. We have a message from Fran. When I stretch my left leg or side, I have some soreness in the right sciatica. Yeah, I do have a diagnosis of spinal stenosis recommendation. So, um, whenever we get questions that are like that specific, I do just want to make sure y'all know I am a yoga teacher. So I'm definitely not a doctor, definitely not a physical therapist. So I do want to preface that. Um, and so I I try not to, offer prescriptive yoga just because it is so unique to each body, and I'm not a medical professional. But I will say, it sounds like you're doing the work of noticing, which is a big part of why we come to yoga. Is to strengthen that connection between our mind and our body, because often we'll have pain and we can't even identify where it's coming from or why it's happening. So you've already done the work, Fran, of noticing when I do this, I feel this, right? That's a huge part of the work. And so I think you're you're modifying just by noticing and staying within a range of motion that doesn't feel painful, or tingly or pinchy for your body. That would be my best recommendation. I'm not sure where you are. I feel like there you are. Hi, Fran. I hope that answers your question enough. Otherwise, I would say physical therapists are incredible and might be the right kind of person to go to for this question. Does that help? Okay, you're welcome. Angie says, can anyone participate in these sessions? I don't think so. I think to participate in the sessions, you got to be with GoGoGrandparent, but to watch the videos on YouTube, you can just be anybody with an internet connection. Any other thoughts or feelings we want to share, or questions or anything like that?
yeah, I have special software program to magnify, and that it speaks to me too. And whenever somebody leaves, it talks to me and tells
Oh,
me who's leaving, and it disrupts my train of thought and man, anything I'm listening to.
Oh, dang. I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's a challenge.
Um,
I forgot to turn it off before I logged in because I can turn it off ahead of time, but when I get into Zoom, it locks me up and won't let me do very much.
oh,
So
dang. Well, I'm sorry about that.
yeah,
Um,
that's okay. I had good eyesight until I was 46 years old. And then I was hit by Leber's optic neuropathy, they call it, and it wipes out the central vision and what so it that's the central vision is where you really see, the detail is
right.
there. And I still have peripheral vision, but I can what it means is I need letters 2 inches tall to read, and I cannot see a car beyond 55 feet. So it takes a lot to get used to, you know.
Yeah.
But I did get back to work with Hewlett Packard and struggled along for several more years. I was with them for 28 years. So,
I couldn't hear who
and
you said. Who'd you say you were with?
Hewlett Packard, HP.
Oh, Hewlett Packard. Yeah, yeah. That's awesome.
Yep, I was with them 28 years. So that was pretty good. And let's see. I'm in Saturday. I heard somebody leaving a while ago and they said you were in Texas. Is that right?
Yeah, I am in Austin, Texas.
Austin. I'll be darned. Good for you. Yeah, well, it gets hot down there, right?
It certainly does.
But you don't get any snow, do you? Or do you?
But of snow last winter. We definitely get ice. We get lots of ice storms in
I saw,
January.
yeah. Yeah, we don't get anything like that around here.
Yeah.
But well, actually, a couple days ago we got some rain, which is very unusual this time of year.
Nice.
But down here in San Jose, it was just a drizzle.
Mm,
I'm about 42 miles south of San Francisco, and usually if
right.
there's some rain, a little rain, it's north of San Francisco, up in Alameda County. So anyhow, how do you pronounce your name?
It's pronounced Caro.
Caro.
Like I really care about y'all.
Yeah.
Caro.
Okay.
Um,
Hey, are you gonna come back
we
and see us again sometime?
I think so. I think next week. V, can
Next
you
week?
confirm? I'd have to go look at my email, but I think it's next Wednesday and Friday. It's still me.
Yeah,
So I
next
hope y'all
week.
come.
Next
Yeah.
week, you'll be here next week. Then Adria comes the week after. And then, if I'm not mistaken, the week after that, you come back. So anytime
Yeah.
Adria's here, Carol will be here taking over.
Oh, great.
Woohoo.
Uh,
This is fun.
Um,
I enjoy it.
good. It looks like,
Caro,
yeah.
are you going to do any balance exercises in the coming sessions?
If y'all want that, that would be, I would love to do that. You mean like standing holding the chair?
Well, we sometimes do 5 minutes of standing during the
Okay.
session.
You got it. We can 100% do that.
What Edward was doing.
Count on it.
Yeah, that's
Let's see.
right.
Um, Angie, I don't have a studio. So Angie's asking if I have a studio in Austin because she visits here. I don't own a studio, but I do teach at my local YMCA. I teach a chair yoga class, and it's the highlight of my week usually. But now I also get this highlight of seeing y'all.
Very good.
Um, yes, we can for sure do some balance next week. I love that idea. We can totally introduce that.
I think
Well, thank.
falls are a major concern uh,
Mhm,
most
mhm,
people.
mhm. Yeah, I think there's so much, there's so many different things that go into that. I think the more we can also strengthen our muscles, the less likely we are to be, injured when and if we do fall. So I think it all kind of works together, and totally practicing balance is huge. And a lot of the like core exercises that are sort of sneakily worked in here are also helping, because the stronger our core, the better as far as maintaining balance as well. But yeah, um,
much
100%.
uh,
Ooh,
in terms of balance and standing. Thank you.
awesome. I'm glad to hear the motion has been seconded and adopted. Thank you all so much for being here today. I look forward to seeing you next week, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend.
Bye.
Okay. Have a good week.